Blessing Health Systems has commemorated a building on its 11th Street campus that served as the first public school for African American children in Quincy. Blessing unveiled a bronze plaque at the old Lincoln School building at 10th and Spring Streets this morning. Beginning in 1862, various wood frame school buildings were constructed on the site until the brick structure that stands today was built in 1910.
This represents a part of Quincy's history as it relates to education and enriching young minds. So having the structure still present is kind of an opportunity for us to have a window to that and reflect on how that impacts us today in society.
The Lincoln School closed in 1957 and Blessing purchased that building in 1960. They've converted it for a use as the hospital's power plant and boiler room.